People say satire is dead. It is not dead. It's alive. It's kicking in the Sri Lankan political circles. Good evening and welcome. This is Face the Nation. Our topic of discussion today is the dust settling? To discuss all this and more, we've invited 5 guests to our studios this evening as well. Joining us this evening on the show are Ruwan Wijeweera, Member of Parliament representing the NPP, former Minister Mr. Navin Dissanayake representing the United National Party, Lihini Fernando representing the SJB. She's also a recently appointed local councillor. Also joining us this evening on the show is Milinda Rajapaksha representing the Sri Lanka Pojana Peramuna. He was one of the spokesperson for Gotabaya Rajapaksha's regime as well. Also joining us this evening on the show is Swasthika Arulingam from the People's Struggle Alliance. To pose questions to our panelists this evening, on to immediate right is attorney at law Sharan Benedict. On to immediate left is Shihar Ranis. You too can join in as far as the conversation is concerned. The number to send in your messages via WhatsApp is 076 656 5353. The number once again 076 656 5353. I would be delighted to take those questions to our panelists this evening. So let's get the ball rolling today with Ruwan Wijeweera, Member of Parliament from the National People's Power. Ruwan, you look very happy today. Why is that?
No, thank you very much for inviting. This is the second time that I have been coming here, and the happy the way that the government is doing what we have been doing since especially the Colombo Municipal Council, as well as the other things regarding the local government bodies. And the other thing, the way that we have been managing the things.
So, Ruwan, just to understand now, let's take a look at Colombo Municipal Council. Yeah. You all got 61 votes in favor of your mayoral candidate, Roy Kari Balthazar. The SJB was only able to manage 54 seats. Who voted in favor of your party? Because if you look at it, you all only had 48 seats prior to the election, and then this came up to 61. Who do you think voted in favor of your mayoral candidate in Colombo?
Yeah, that especially that this the mandate of the people. As far as the mandate of the people is concerned, that what we were telling the people as well as to the countries that we have given the country the special program that we are going to implement in the country, as well as from the people's perspective that they had some expectations regarding what to do as our programs in the country. So then I think that as the Colombo Municipal Council is concerned, it's true that we have got 48 seats. And so what we were asking and what we were telling, what we were discussing in the process is that we have shown a clear path how this country is taken forward, and all these things have been discussed, and we have invited and requested for the people who love this country, who are expecting that nation can be converted into a
so you're saying the people who love this country was also SJB members who voted in favor of your mayoral candidate?
That might be. There are people. Most of the people of this country, we know that they love and they want this country to be converted into a place, beautiful place. So because of that reason, that is why we have been asking the people as well as the everyone to just get together with this endeavor, right?
So for me to understand, Ruwan, now you all initially said that you all don't want the support of any independent members because all of them are corrupt. So how did you manage to get 61 seats if that is the case? If you're saying that all the other political parties are corrupt, but you just said that even the SJB members may have voted in favor of your mayoral candidate. So does that mean that you all also have got onto the bandwagon of other political parties as well?
No, that actually this what we were telling before the election is also, it's quite clear that we were telling That it's true that from the examples and the way that the political parties behave before, throughout the history, so we have seen how they have behaved and what they have shown examples that they have given. There are many more things, there are many more evidences that the fraud and corruption was there on the top. So, we actually what we said is that we are not going to have coalitions or something like with the political parties, but the people. So when there is no majority to form an local government body, so you need to have the support of somebody else. So then, as
I just want to understand one. So sorry to interrupt. I just want to get some direction in the first round itself. Let's take a look at the Medavachi local council body, where your candidate is the mayor, and the deputy mayor is a candidate from the SLPP. And SLPP is a party that your party has rejected right throughout, saying they are corrupt. But when you all were forming the Medavachi local council, that didn't apply?
You know, that is what is very important is in these local government bodies is that the main position is very important, because that is the mayor. That is the character. Because the other ones also important, but this is something quite little bit different here. Actually, the way these when you do not have the majority, so the way these things have been formed can be different. So one
I don't understand. I'm sorry, I don't understand. When you say that a political party is corrupt,
yeah,
how is it possible that when you all form the Medavachi council, they are not corrupt, but you all are okay to make an affiliation with that political party? I don't understand.
No, we do not
Can
have
you give some
we do not have any political affiliations. We do not have that. We have not signed the agreements or the deals. We do not have that. What we have done is that, so the main position is the key position of any local government body. So that is so we have our you know this the promises. So we have our programs to be implemented. We have given them before the elections also. So now after the election also, we are going to implement them.
Now, I want to give you another example.
Yeah.
We will speak a little bit more about this as the show goes along. Pillian's TMVP party, you all joined hands in Batikro. You all lost that, but you all joined hands with the TMVP. What is your position then? It seems like it's about taking the icing on the cake and nothing else. You all also seem to be going on the path of other political parties. Is that why you all have got a mandate?
No, not that. In this one, that is why that's what I have told you. So this is a different scenario, right? So that is the people are separated mainly into two groups, especially independents and the other political parties. They will join to one group. So that is what happening. So then that is we NPP, we clearly we do not have any agreements and the affiliations or coalitions or nothing. What we are telling always, so anybody, even the Sajaba, so SJB people, so they also can, SLPP or whatever, we don't care, because the program is ours, right? So we are doing our program depending on the mandate that the people have given us.
So what if there is a vote in the Medavachi council, local council, and the deputy mayor and the mayor have a disagreement?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because the deputy mayor's role, I don't think that it can make a big impact. So that is what I know about that.
But in councils like Colombo, the deputy mayor plays a big role.
Yeah.
But not in Medavachi.
Let's see.
Right. Thanks a lot, Ruwan Wijeweera, Member of Parliament from the National People's Power. I now move my attention to former Minister Navin Dissanayake, representing the United National Party. Navin, what exactly happened in your opinion? Because they say politics is full of surprises. Colombo was one such example. What exactly happened? You've been in politics for many years. Your father was a politician. For me to understand and for our viewers to understand, what do you think really happened in Colombo?
Yes, it's very interesting, the topic of this program today, Dust is Settled. dust is settling. But unfortunately in Sri Lankan politics, the dust never settles because it's a continuous movement, struggle I would say, for power. And in a sense, these mini councils, local councils are also about power. So for power you need deals. And this is essentially what happened in the Colombo Municipal Council. It was basically a deal. So the deal, I don't know the figures of the deal or the mechanics of the deal, but of course I have to tell you this. I mean, we had a local council elections and the NPP got the majority of them, and I think on the analysis of the numbers they got 43% or whatever. They lost about 2 million votes, but still they are on top. That is something that the opposition has to accept. And the SJB got 21%, the UMP got 5%, and the SLPP got 9%. So we are very much down. And the opposition has not been a force, unfortunately, in these elections as well. So it is reflected in the vote, which is a free and fair vote. Nobody disputes that. So what happened in the Colombo is also what happened in Nuwara today. Is basically the number that came on top that did not get a majority. To control the council, they wrangled together through deals a partnership to take the council forward. So whether that is ethical or not is another issue. Now I understand that the Colombo Municipal Council, there's going to be a pending legal action on what the lady commissioner did. So what exactly happened is very clear, because there was a 60 number letter that was shown earlier, and that 60 dwindled down to 54 when there was a secret vote. So those were, I think, deals that happened with those 6 members. Who they are, I don't know. But what happened in Nuwara today also? Now, Mr. Jeevan Thondu, my good friend, he contested from the elephant, mind you, in Parliament. And now, I mean, it's a 360 turn. I mean, he was always, his political philosophy and ideology was never in line with the NPP stroke JVP. But today he joined, in Nuwara, he joined the NPP. So, I mean, what more do you want? That's a very clear deal. And I'm sorry to say this, I mean, these kind of backroom maneuvering, the schemes that happen in politics, I mean, it happens at the local councils, and it happens in Parliament, it happens in the presidency, it happens everywhere.
Yeah, well, Navin, I want to talk about Colombo, but because you mentioned about Nuwara, let's talk a little bit about Nuwara. You know, Jeevan has always been against the policies of the JVP or the NPP for that matter. And what happened today shows what politics is all about.
Yes.
And this is why Sri Lanka is always suffering, because principal politicians are not in the front running positions anymore.
I fully agree on that.
But let's take a look at Colombo for that matter. For an example, if the SJB did not understand that a secret ballot is going to make them lose an election, why did members of the SJB on that very day request for a secret ballot?
Yeah, I saw that footage and it's upset me. So I think she has to answer that. I can't answer that. But, no, look, at the end of the I mean, like I said, Shamir, I think it's deal making that's happening right across the board, and it's nothing new to Sri Lankan politics. Like you may have, I was about 21, 22, 1991. I don't know whether you were you born at that time.
I was born.
Must have been little Kolla. So in 1991, when my father and Lalit signed the impeachment motion, they had a number of signatures for that. And then the impeachment motion was entertained by Mr. M.H. Mohammed, who was the speaker. He should have tabled it in Parliament. Then after 1 month, he's saying the signatures are not valid. And so, I mean, at that early age, I realized what political deal making is. So even now, today, as we speak, right? I mean, the next 24 hours, Shamir, can be the most crucial hours in the whole world. because the US might hit Iran tonight. That's the info I'm getting. So now Trump is always talking about a deal with Iran. So I mean, you see, the deals happen right at the top and deals happen right at the bottom.
No.
So that is the nature of politics. And
Navin, you've worked with Sajid Premdas as well.
Yes.
I just want to understand, because we've seen the manner in which how your father has done a yeoman service in terms of the country. Like example, Mahawali project, we are still reaping the benefits of those projects that were implemented many decades ago. Just for us to understand, do you think Sajid Premdas has the political acumen to steer the SJB towards another victory, probably at another election?
Well, look, I mean, I have been a friend of Sajid for a long time, and I consider myself still a friend. I don't attack people personally. That's not my style. But my argument on this matter is, if you are running for a presidential election and you run twice and you lose, now at the same time I have to tell this about Mr. Wickramasinghe also. He is the leader of my party, he has run thrice and lost. So when you lose a presidential election, it takes a lot out of your credibility. And because it's something that's very personal to me, Shamir. I basically begged my father not to contest in 1994 because I knew the threats that were there. But he took it on. And you can lose once, you can lose twice, you can even run a third time and lose again. But this question of whether Sajid Premdas has the political acumen, you have to give it to him because he has broken the UNP and is getting a vast amount of UNP votes. So people who are traditionally so-called right of center, who vote for the elephant, are voting for the telephone. That's a fact of life. So you have to give it to him for that. And in a way, although I don't like that, I have to silently respect him for that. So whether he has the political acumen or not is left to be seen. So
one final question, Navin. You've always wanted the UNP and the SJB to join hands.
Yes.
I've seen this. You've come on the show even before the presidential election last time, and you said the best way is for these two individuals to set aside their egos and unite for the betterment of the country. And as a result of that, they might even win if they do it. But as you correctly pointed out, that gave an advantage to the NPP front runner Anukumar Dissanayake at the last election. Even at the local council elections, why didn't these two parties join hands?
So we tried our best for that, and there was a lot of discussions on this. So what has actually happened is, I mean, because I criticize Mr. Wickramasinghe inside the party, inside the working committee. I'm one of the few guys who get up and speak. So on certain issues I have been very critical inside the party. Now on this issue, I can honestly say that Mr. Wickramasinghe he gave the full backing to get together, but that it was not as forthcoming from the SJB. So now she might say a different story, that is her right to say that, but I can honestly say this because I got involved and I knew about the discussions. So all we had to do was to get a common symbol and put a common list. The two parties can be separate. There does not have to be any kind of a leadership and then bow down to another or whatever. Two parties can get together as a common symbol and just agree on the slots of the nominations. So that can be 60% to SJB, 40% to us, or whatever. Those are up to negotiations. But the will to get together must be there, because my strongest point on this is that there's about 1 million UMP votes that do not come to vote because of the division. And that gives them an advantage, because 1 million is a lot in Sri Lankan politics.
Thanks a lot, Navin Dissanayake, represented the UNP. Navin was also a former minister of the UNP government. I now move my attention towards Attorney at Law Lihini Fernando, representing the SJB. She's also now a local councillor. Lihini, what exactly happened? Now, you had at the council, I'm talking about Colombo, many were talking about having a secret ballot, and some were talking about having an open vote. And I see one member from the SJB endorsing the fact that it's important to go for a secret ballot. Now, we saw what happened in Sitabaga for that matter. Individuals walked out. As a result of that, sittings were postponed by another 1 month. Why couldn't that have happened in Colombo? Why was it that there was divisions within the SJB itself?
So, thank you for inviting me today on the show. So, before I answer that question, let me get to how the procedure started initially. Now, one thing we know is when one party does not get a 50%, you go for a vote to elect the mayor and the deputy mayor. So then, how should it be selected? How should the vote be? Should it be a secret vote or an open vote? There was a debate, and the debate was going on for about an hour. Now, the municipal council commissioners were issued a guideline by the Ministry of Public Administration and Local Government. They had a workshop in Trincomalee, and a specific guideline was issued to them on how they should act in such a situation. And in that particular guideline, section 4.1, I read, in section 4.1 it says whether the method of election is a secret ballot or an open ballot, the ballot should be held by calling the names of each member, and the method of voting should be decided by the majority consensus in many provinces. Now, we see the same thing happening in other councils, like the councils like Kadugannava and Kabitigollava. This procedure was followed. Now, the question that I want to pose is, why didn't the Western Provincial, the commissioner, why didn't she follow this procedure? Now, when she's been clearly given a guideline, shouldn't she follow the guideline? Now, that is the starting point.
But you're an attorney at law as well.
Yes.
What supersedes, guideline or the law?
So the law, and also subject to the law. When the law is silent, they have given a guideline. With the law is silent here, so then the guideline prevails. So now she overrules the guideline.
Okay, so let's leave that all aside. Now we know what exactly happened.
Wait 1 second.
Yeah, but I want to ask, why was it members of the SJB requested for a secret ballot? So that's my question. I'm not talking about the commissioner. So I'm not talking about the way in which how all these appointments took place. I'm asking
let me answer you that. Let me answer that. So now then that happens, and then there's a huge argument that happens for over about an hour or so. And then at that point only, the SJB member gets up and says that that we consent, the opposition consents for a secret ballot. But even though that happened, that happened because there was no direction. It was not going anywhere. So because of that only he said that. But however, the municipal commissioner, my argument is the municipal commissioner right from the beginning didn't follow the guideline.
Lihini, I'm asking you a very simple question. If the commissioner was not listening to you, why didn't you all walk out?
That is something they could have done. I don't want to dispute that. That is something they could have done. So
now this individual who said that they want a secret ballot, which electorate or which ward was he?
I am not aware. I cannot answer that question. So there was somebody who got up and said that he consents. So that is a point of debate. But
the reason why I'm asking you is because we know a few weeks prior to this vote that took place yesterday, there seem to be have divisions within Mujibur Rahman, there were divisions with SM Marika, then there was divisions with Harshali Silva. So I'm trying to figure out whether there was politics also involved. Did someone from the SJB itself wanted to defeat Mujibur Rahman's plan to form a government?
No, we as a party from the beginning we were very clear that we were going to get the Colombo Municipal Council. That was the view of the party, and the party worked on it. And also prior to that, we had a signature list of 61 members who had 62 members which had consented. So we went for the election municipal council on the 16th of June with that premise. So what we wanted was to go for an open vote. Now, what we need to understand in the bigger scheme of thinking is, did the role of the municipal commissioner? Now, why didn't she follow the guideline?
Let's leave that aside.
No, you cannot leave that aside. That is the point here.
Was there a division within the SJB itself?
See, I'll bring you this example.
Now we saw Navin, Fernando, Mujibur Rahman, all of them watching the proceedings on a phone. But we didn't see front runners like SM Marika, Harshali Silva watching that together. And I saw Mujibur Rahman on the phone instructing someone, I don't know. But I'm just trying to figure out, was there a division within the SJB itself to defeat?
No, I don't think so. We were very clear from the beginning. The party was very clear from the beginning that, and we worked towards it. We had several meetings, we had several discussions. My point, Shamir, here is this. Now,
where you all should start, Lihini, you all should start who this individual is connected to. Probably then you all will get to the bottom of this.
See, what we need to understand is this. Now, there's a municipal commissioner here. Has she violated the law or not? We will probably go to court and argue on this because there is a legal argument there. Everybody is talking that today, I think in Parliament, somebody stated about her discretion.
Couldn't you all predict this? No, because you all have been in politics for a long time. Now, example, I asked the same question from Navin as well. Navin has been involved in politics since 1991 probably, and then he would know that the commissioner would come with an agenda of having a secret ballot. If that is the case, how is it that the SJB is going to react to it?
Yeah. So
was this discussed? Was a mock taken up like this as to what they're going to do?
See, they had a plan, they had a strategy. The strategy
was defeated.
Strategy was to go for a open vote. So then, right throughout for about an hour or so, we had that argument going on.
Everything is not hunky-dory, you know.
Politics. This is politics. You know? I mean, everybody.
But you already predicted.
At this point, you questioned all the SJB, but you also must question the moral compass of the NPP of aligning.
This is where political acumen comes into play, Lihini. This is where the experience comes into play.
See, I think as a party, we were quite focused on getting the CMC, so that's where it stands. But I think, clearly.
But massive defeat. If you all would have won Colombo, you all could have said this is like the presidency.
No, see, it's like this is politics. Now you also must question. Now NPP has 48. And now there's a 13. Now, how are they going to manage the council? Nobody's talking about that.
We talk about that.
That will be the key point.
We have more time. It's just 9, 10, 9. We have 1.5 hours to go, Lane. Don't worry. We'll ask those questions.
And also the moral compass of NPP of aligning with the.
Right. Thanks a lot, Attorney Adolini Fernando. I now move my attention to Milinda Rajapaksha from the SLPP. Milinda, I just want to talk about the Madhavache Council first, where the SLPP member is now the deputy mayor of that council in question. Is it a victory for you all to get aligned with the NPP and say, we are now friends with you, let's join hands? Is that the first step forward?
No, victory is not whether we are aligned to NPP or whether we are aligned to SJB or whether we are aligned to UNP or anyone else. I think the victory depends on whether we have a space to work in these councils for the people who voted for us or even the people who didn't vote for us. So I think we are trying with whatever the number of councillors who got elected from SLPP, we are trying to find our space, and some of the councils we have the power now, few councils which we are very happy with, and some of the councils we have supported SJB to form the councils, and so we are trying to manage ourselves within that.
SJB I understand because you all are in this broad opposition now, and I was told that even your leader Milinda Rajapaksha had told and instructed Nama Rajapaksha to join hands very strongly with the opposition alliances to form councils. So that part I understand. The part that I don't understand is how is it that the mayor of the Madhavache Council is from the NPP and the deputy mayor is from the SLPP?
Why that part can't be understood? Because our position after getting 700 odd some members for these councils, our stand was very clear from the beginning. Our stand was we will find whatever the positions or the space available in these councils to do a justice to people who voted for us. So that could have been with NPP, that could have been with SJB, that could have been with UNP, with anyone.
So then tell me, who did you vote in favor in Colombo?
That was a secret ballot.
That you can't say.
How am I going to say without seeing who voted for whom in that kind of situation?
But as a policy decision, who did you all
we had a policy decision from the very beginning, like any other place. We had our position clear in all the places. Colombo Municipal Council, our position was very clear. We said we are going to support the candidate put forward by the common opposition group.
So how do you view the defeat? Now you saw this on television as well, and for that matter, Milinda, you are a very strong critic of this government as well. How do you think they won the ballot in Colombo?
I think for me, being a former member of the Colombo Municipal Council, knowing how rich and wealthy the Colombo Municipal Council, how big the tenders are, I'm trying to find the right words for the value of most of the work done by Colombo Municipal Council. So anyone would fight to get into the mayor position and to get hold on to the power of Colombo Municipal Council. It's bigger than most of these cabinet ministries of this government. I have been there for 3 years, have seen how things work there. For me, from the very beginning, from the day some of the independent council members were called to the President's Secretariat, from that day I was very clear the deal was done and the NPP is going to win that, because the government got into these deals and the negotiations with the President in hand, with the cabinets in hand, with all the big mudalalis and all the businessmen in hand. And I know the people who made calls, I know the people who were running around facilitating to get members into NPP side. So for me, at least 1 week ago, I knew NPP is going to win. So I congratulate Rai Balthasar, new mayor, who made the best deal out of whatever was available.
Yeah, but for full disclosure, I mean, you have to take full responsibility for the statements you are making, because in this show, the panelists are responsible for their own statements.
Yes, I have always said that. I very happily make this statement in your show, because most of the Colombo people watch this show.
You seem to be knowing something that
I know something, and most of the thing everyone else also know, but they don't want to talk about that. I stupidly come and talk about those things. That is the difference.
So Milinda, Rai's appointment as mayor, putting an end to the green rain in Colombo, how do you view this?
I see that was due to happen looking at the election results from the presidential election. Even if you look at the presidential election, even I remember when Mahinda Rajapaksha and Gotabaya Rajapaksha was winning the entire country, we hardly won some of these hardcore Colombo places. But in this election, from the presidential election, AKD won these places, so they were anyway winning all those places. So it was not, I was surprised when I realized they got only 30% or something. No, that was the surprise I had.
But Milinda, you know very well, in 2009, after President Mahinda Rajapaksha won the war, he still lost Colombo.
Yeah, that is what I am saying.
He still lost Colombo.
No, that is what I have been saying.
Do you remember
yes.
Also when the UNP missed the nominations, and when we put an independent list,
he still
again we won that.
Even I have the same argument. So first time, not during this election, during the presidential election of AKD only, they started winning Colombo. Not this election. This election was just a result of the trend which they had all over the country, including Colombo.
The problem is 69 years. Something that was on the green side, Sajid Premadasa could not do justice.
No, that even his father's what to call the vote, SLPP won. Our candidate, the only vote we won in Colombo Municipal Council, SLPP, was Keselwatta. That was former President Ranasinghe Premadasa's ward, where he born and bred.
It was 2009, I remember. After winning the war, when President Mahinda Rajapaksa got a resounding victory against Sarath Fonseca, still they lost Colombo.
But I will tell you another funny story. So when even 2018 we won all around the country, and I got into the Colombo Municipal Council with only 11 others. And I have heard, even when Mahinda Rajapaksha won all the other places, he had never fought for Colombo Municipal Council, because that has been always someone else's territory. And but it was very funny to see how this time the government put everything they have. For me, they first time put their credibility in line, because everyone in Colombo knows how much money was distributed, what kind of deals were made, what kind of people made calls to elected local council members who are our friends. The numbers were offered to get into this mayoral position. The first time I saw a government or a president or a political party put that much of effort for one particular place, for me that is lot inferiority complex.
Right. Thanks a lot, Milinda Rajapaksha, representing the SLPP. We'll discuss all this and more as the show goes along. I want to quickly pick Attorney at Law Swasthika Arulingam from the People's Struggle Alliance. Swasthika, there are biggest winners and biggest losers when it came to the Aragalaya. I feel the biggest loser of the Aragalaya is the People's Struggle Alliance. Because if you look at the numbers that you all polled at the last election, you all had several individuals contesting, and you all only have 16 members, 16, not 60, 16. What happened to your party? It seems that your party has lost track of winning the people's hearts and their minds as a political party.
I disagree. I think when it comes to elections, people often think of which party has a potential of winning, forming government and so on. So this time around the sweep was with NPP. We started late. This is what I said during the presidential election and the parliamentary election also. We started quite late, and given the fact that we started quite late, the fact that we did manage to get 16 seats, given the resources, given the campaigns we carried out and so on, I think that's a step forward for us, and I mean we are very happy with the results actually. So we don't
16 members, you think you all can make an impact in the Sri Lankan political sphere?
We have made an impact even without a single member in parliament. In fact, despite the fact that there are many oppositions in parliament, when it comes to an issue, People's Struggle Alliance and the members of the People's Struggle Alliance have been in the forefront of taking up issues on behalf of people, whether it be workers' issue, whether it be wages, whether it be privatization. It has been us who have been taking. So despite the fact that we did not have a single seat in parliament, today the opposition sits outside parliament, which is what we have always been saying. Whether we win the election or lose the elections, we will always be the opposition. And despite the fact that we did not get a single seat in parliament, even today, when we have meetings, when we have raised issues and so on, people come to us. So they see us as a resistance, they see us as a voice. And we are quite happy with that for now.
So Swasthika, if I ask this question from Honorable Dissanayake 10 years ago, what is their agenda as a political party? He would say the agenda of any political party is to gain power, and that would be the core of any political party. But it seems to me, when I ask you this question as to where you all stand as a political party, you say you all always want to be in the opposition. What's the point of having a political party who wants to be in the opposition and not to dominate power one day?
When Anurakkumara Dissanayake says he wants power, he means state power maintaining the status quo. That is the exact discussion which was going on all along. I will form any kind of deals. I would, the title is the dust is settling. Of course, the dust is settling on the question of whether the power has shifted from the old elite to a new elite. So they would form deals with anyone. You just heard, they would form deals with anyone in order to stay in power and maintain the status quo. When we mean power, it does not mean maintain the status quo. We want to have a different kind of power, and we want to break the status quo, then we have to work for it. And we have just started doing that. We are not willing to make deals or cut corners and get into the status quo of power. So when we say we want to be in the opposition, currently the status quo is the existing elite structure, and we don't want to get into that kind of power. But doesn't mean we never want to get into power. But when we get into power, it would be a very different Sri Lanka.
Swasthika, now Rai is 40 years old, a woman holding the post of mayor. You are also a woman. You all advocate diversity. You all advocate females representation in every quarter. How do you view the appointment of the new Colombo mayor for a change in Colombo? And even in Sri Lanka for that matter.
It was, Rai's mayorship was always being talked about in political spaces. And I was, as a woman, I was very happy that Rai was going to, and she has also worked on the ground. She's not someone who just rose to power out of nowhere or through family connections. She worked on the ground, right? Unfortunately, the decision of the NPP to make a mayor under any circumstances by through a secret ballot. I mean, we were talking about legal provision, but when you do a secret ballot, the people, the constituency which loses are the people, because you don't want to know who is voting for you. Then you don't trust the people. So when you put Rai as a mayor through a secret ballot, then her entire political credibility has already been broken. So that is on the NPP for taking a woman, a character, a person like Rai, and breaking a political credibility in one day. So I don't know whether to be, I mean, I'm very happy that she's a mayor, but can I actually be happy when I know that how she has been voted to power, when she has broken the norms of democracy by agreeing to this secret ballot? I mean, she didn't agree, but the party
it's
has
not
done
in
that.
her hands, because at the end of the day,
of course.
decisions are taken by the commissioner before when a situation of this sort arises. So
but she is the
she can't
recipient.
be
Ultimately, she is the recipient of that secret vote. So should I be happy because a woman, someone who has worked on the ground has come to power, or should I not be happy but because she has, come to power exactly the same way as any other status quo party would have done?
But Swasthika, you all are somewhat of a extreme ideological party. You all have we've had this conversation before.
I have always corrected you and said we don't have extreme ideologies.
On this very table,
I have always
ideology in terms of the country's economy.
No, it sounds extreme because everyone is on the other side, other extreme.
Right, okay.
They are like neoliberals, so of course we look extreme.
Okay, so we beg to differ,
yes. We have had this conversation before.
So I'm asking you, just if it was any different, who would you think is better to lead Colombo if things were different? Should it be the SJB leading Colombo, or should it be the NPP leading Colombo?
I think it's a good thing that the power transferred from the green to, I mean, people say red, but they're not red. So green to whatever color they are now.
You all are red.
We are left. So left is red. So whatever.
Yeah.
But it's good that power transferred, and there's a shake-up in whatever power structures which exist in Colombo. So that is good. But I'm just worried about the way the power transferred. And then we start questioning whether the power actually did transfer, or this, what they call the political elite are still remaining in power.
Is the PSA going to support Rai in her tenure as the mayor?
We don't have a seat in Colombo.
No, I know, but you just said you don't need to have a seat in parliament.
Yes.
But you all will still be the opposition. So I'm trying to figure out whether you all will support Rai's mayorship in the next
well, it depends on what she's going to do, no? It depends on what she's going to do. For instance, to give an example, NPP went around cleaning Colombo, right? Cleaning is anyway done by municipal council workers. What they don't have is permanency in their employment. So they work under horrendous condition, under the sun, getting into road accidents and everything. To date, the NPP government is stalling on making those workers permanent and giving them some kind of security. It's now only the discussions are going on. So then on top of that, when workers are doing their work anyway, this political party comes and says we are cleaning Sri Lanka, and doing what? Like beach cleanups when we do in schools, collect the garbage and put it into some dump yard so that one day the garbage will topple on a group of people. So this kind of basically gimmicks, when they are calling for system change, and all they are doing is cleaning the dirt and putting it behind so that no one would see the dirt. So then, I mean, if that's going to happen, of course we won't support it. But if she's actually going to reform and bring out a radical change in the political structures, of course we would support it.
Okay.
Of course we would.
Thank you very much, Attorney at Law Swasthika Arulingam from the People's Struggle Alliance. On immediate right is Attorney at Law Charlene Benedict. Immediate left is independent journalist Shiaranis. I give you the opportunity to pose questions. Or all right, okay.
Okay. Thanks, Shamil. I want to ask Ruwan. Now, the NPP and President Anurakumar Dissanayake, they both came to power, promising that they will end the deal politics. But when you see the current status, especially after the local government election, there has been many deals like that. What do you want to say about this?
Yeah, that is one main concern. One main concern in our party, as well as all the people of this country. Most of the people they wanted, as well as So not only that, that is the main concern, main priority of the people was to just to end fraud and corruption in the country, right? Because most of the deals, most of the things, most of these misconducts, misbehaviors, and almost all these kind of misbehaviors were having those things were having some kind of deal with this fraud and corruption, right? So because of that reason, the main priority of our government was to end and eliminate this fraud and corruption.
But then why did you go for this deal with the other parties?
Yeah, this is as far as this the Colombo Municipal Council is concerned, CMC is concerned. So we have got 48 seats. We have got 48 seats NPP and 29 for SJB and 13 for UNP likewise, right? So then that is in that scenario, that is we were having the majority. The majority mean that is from those the parties there, because in this local government election there is no such thing as the government and the opposition. I don't know about that, because something like government and the opposition, that's not there. But after the election results, they are just going to say that so we are the joint opposition and we represent this coalition, and likewise they try to figure out the things. But the thing is that when we have 48 members, right, that is the kind of majority in
I'm not disputing that. Now you are talking about CMC, but if you take Madhavachya, you have established a council with SLPP, which you all accused of corruption and many of the crimes in the past. Similarly, you have done the same thing in other councils. So what I'm asking is, why did you all go for this deal politics again?
No, that is because the people can say they can accuse that, telling that is we are having some kind of deal politics, but that is not the deal politics. What we are trying is that so we have got the president is ours, and that is the government is running with the 2/3 majority, and we have our plans to change this country into a country where there is no fraud and corruption, as well as a country with the political manifesto.
Let me rephrase the question that Shihar asked. How much of money did you all give the SLPP to form the Madhavachya Council?
Yeah, that is if we have given some money that our friend
how much of money did you all get to
know about that?
How much of money did the Madhavachya councillors get to form the mayor post with the
Pradesh Sabha, I have to check.
You don't know?
No, I don't know. I was busy with this all other things, no. Madhavachya is far away.
Money or
I don't know.
Council to be given money for them to work.
No, I mean personal money.
No, Shami, that is
on that point, if I could just
no, that is what I'm going to tell you is that so while we are having 48 members, so 29 SJB is having 29, and likewise the members have been separated.
So money was not given.
Right? Money was not given, and those kinds of the people can say that the deals were there, but no deals. The negotiations were there, right? That's true. That we were discussing how this country would be taken forward, and we were discussing those things.
So President Arulingam Dissanayake said that money will not be given to councils that are not being run by the NPP. So now what's going to happen?
Yeah, this is something like this. So that so as the separated statement, you can't take that. You need to look into the whole speech as well as the whole context of the country, as well as all these things. So he told, not only he, as well as every one of us is telling, what we are telling is that this country was in the 79th position in the rankings regarding the fraud and corruption, right? Among the 100 Transparency International, from 180 countries, Sri Lanka was standing in the 79th position. right? So among the countries where there were that's the lowest fraud and corruption. So we were in the 79th in 2013, and that is we were declining our place into 115th in 2023 after 10 years. So then in 2024 in the mid it has been declined into 121.
Yeah, now
So
our
then-
question is that is why we are asking
Yeah.
you. If that corruption was brought about by the SLPP government,
Yeah.
why did you all form a council with the SLPP members?
So we need, so it's very clear that so when even though you are having that majority, not that the simple majority, but what I am telling that in the context, even when we are having that majority to form the local government body, so we need to have the support of some people, right? Without changing your manifesto as well as your intention and the expectations of the people, if you can live up to the expectation of the people, so there is no problem of getting the support of anybody. So because we are
But now SLPP
we are
is
leading.
clean.
Not clean. We are not telling that it's clean or something like that. But what we are telling, so it cannot be clean. So that how
But
it
there
was
is a-
transformed into 79 position to the 121.
So, but you all have only formed the Badivashe
Everything is.
So now in a minute, Milinda will say, see, we are clean. That is why we formed
it may be. It can be. They can say that what.
Milinda will definitely say it.
Yeah, sure. It's okay. It's fine. But so you can see that SLPP maybe that is they are clean or whatever, but that is according to the situation of the country, how the things were going on, how the people are going to the jail, and how they are convicted, and everything. When everything is concerned, the people of this country can understand where the cleanliness or the things. So that is up to the people to decide who are clean and who are not clean. But what I am trying to telling you is that so we have a ethical right to form the government as we are having the majority in the context. In the context, as we are having the majority, we have the ethical right to form the government.
No, we don't dispute that, Ruwan. But what we are asking here is how ethical it is to form a government. You know, you are a party with principles saying that we will never ever, forge forces with those corrupt people. Now, here the ethical issue is like the people who you accused of, being corrupted. Now you have formed the same. You have basically forged forces with them for your own benefit, isn't it?
No, that is the very first thing is that if we are not changing our, that is the what we have told earlier, we have not changed anything. We are in the same stance that we were telling before the election as well. So then, so are you going to suggest that the Colombo, the CMC must be left to the SJB or somebody else, that thinking that is we are not having, then they are not, they also do not have that. They also do not have the clear majority.
Yeah,
so that is the thing. So that is why we are fighting.
They never argued that they will not forge alliances with corrupt people, like your party.
Yeah. They may be, but they.
But here SJB did say that no deals.
Did say that?
Yeah,
The leader of the SJB said
before
no
the
deal.
election, they
no
said.
deals. he said.
Good luck for you.
Sajit Premadasa, the opposition leader, he told that is there are no deals and all.
Okay.
But this is very clearly what I want to tell you is that no deals at all. We have not discussed with the political parties and the political party leaders. We have not gone to discuss the things. What we have done is that the SLPP or the SJB or the UNP, the leaders as the political parties, we have not discussed anything. But the negotiations were done because this is what we are going to do to the CMC as in the way that we are doing to the country.
If I could pose that question to Milinda now, a lot is being spoken about any alliance that is being forged with the SLPP. The SLPP seems to be, the taboo party, if at all. Nobody wants to. Everybody wants, the support of the SLPP, gives it some form of support from a political party. But nobody wants to be seen as affiliated to the SLPP because in the minds of the people, at least at the moment, SLPP is the corrupt party. So how is the SLPP working, to clarify this, either if it is wrong, if it is a wrong conception, or if there is some truth to that conception, what is the SLPP doing to fix this situation right now?
No, only NPP is trying to disassociate. We sat with the other secretary generals of all the other parties in front of the
No,
press
but
conference.
even on that, I mean, I'm pretty sure if I ask Lihini a question on that point, she would say that no, we sat at that media briefing only for the purpose of forming local government bodies. There is no other alliance.
Even we said that. That
Yes.
is the statement we said
So
at the
again,
very
then
beginning.
that isn't that proof that nobody wants? Because back in the day, when you all formed the joint opposition, the first joint opposition, all parties came, sat together, said we are in alliance, not to just establish power in parliament, not at local government bodies. We are an alliance. We are the joint opposition, and therefore we all said we should be given the opposition leader position also. Back when R. Sambandhan was the opposition leader, but here there is a caveat. We are only doing this to form power. There is no other. So that's a form of distance, right?
We were the first party to tell that. We were the first party to tell that, come out and say we are going to work with UNP, we are going to work with SJB, we are going to work with other parties only to establish certain number of councils. For this particular purpose, we are going to work with other parties. Otherwise, we are going to remain independent as a political party.
But then
so we
now
were the
there
first to
is-
tell that, number one. And number two, there is another clarification. Joint opposition was formed against the Yahapalane government, and the joint opposition members at that time was everyone except UNP, SJB, the people who sat with us.
Because they were in the
this.
government.
They were in the government.
Yes.
So joint opposition was a different deal.
No,
at that
I
time.
completely understand. So
Yeah.
my question to you really is, now, there is a perception among the general public that the SLPP is corrupt, which is why you lost so many votes, from 6.9 million to somewhere around 1 million or so. So what is the SLPP doing to fix this situation? Because now you are saying that the NPP government is not good, we should be given power, of course, as any political party is saying. But what is the SLPP doing materialistically? Instead of, nitpicking and pointing to mistakes of the NPP, what is the SLPP doing to make itself, more marketable to the people, or at least to rebuild trust among the people? What is your position on these massive allegations of fraud and corruption that are being leveled against the SLPP? Because you hear Namal Rajapaksha, your national leader, coming out and saying, I am going to free my father from all of these allegations, my party, my father, all in my close circle, out of these allegations under this government itself, because they are the ones who accuse, they have the power. If they don't prosecute now, then almost acquitted. So is that the position, that the SLPP is not a corrupt party and the NPP blatantly lied about it? Is that the position of the SLPP?
So how the legal system works in this country, whoever has...
No, I'm not talking about the legal system. I'm not talking about right or wrong.
Whoever has made accusations are now... The people who started making accusations started from 2015. That is how the 2015 government came into power too. So we went through this entire drill even during the 2015 government too. Even I had been to number of that commission, this commission, that police station, this police station. And all that was a media show for them to came to power. And by 2018 we started winning elections again. And again 90% of the same, some of those cases have been reopened. And I hope there will be new cases too. So we will be waiting for we trust the judiciary in this country. We don't trust the political system in this country, but we trust the judiciary of this country. So let's wait and see how the executions will happen, how the judiciary will look at all these cases. And now we have given 159 people in the parliament. They can change any law, they can bring any law, they can change, they can put new police stations, they can put new anything they can do. So we will wait. We have another 2-3 years. And already we had 1 year. Already they came to power saying that by next they were counting from the moons. No, by next Poya day we will put Namal Rajapaksha into jail. Within 2 Poya days we will go to Uganda and bring back money. By 3 Poya days we will reduce all the expenses of the country, because we are bringing $180 billion to this country, which Rajapaksha looted. So all that were promised, all that was said. So we are waiting and watching. People are waiting and watching. But after 8 months, as you said, after 8 months, the same thing is happening.
I mean, with all due respect to the legal process of Sri Lanka, of course it takes an extended period of time. Everybody knows that cases get delayed in courts. That's not my question to you, because now you are saying that they leveled accusations against you, and your party's response to that is, well, prove it if you can. But how is that an effective response when you have members of your party, for example, Tissa Kuttiarachchi, getting up on stage and saying, you know, during Mahinda Rajapaksha's regime, when there was a project to build a road, the municipal or the Pradesh Sabha members, the municipal councillors, did get an extra commission of 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, and they went and they used it to build their political careers. I mean, that is textbook corruption right there. So my question to you is, when you have members of the SLPP coming and saying, he technically said on the stage, we stole money, because that is stealing money, that is bribery, that is corruption. So he comes on stage and says, we committed bribery, we committed corruption. You as the SLPP, what have you done for that? What have you done against that? Is that right? Is that okay?
No,
is that your position?
that is number one. That is not okay. Absolutely, that is not okay.
So what has the SLPP done? I mean, I'm pretty sure Ruwan would agree with this, that if anyone from the NPP comes and says, you know, I paid 10,000 rupees, I paid 100,000 rupees to get the support of this municipal councillor for the NPP, your party, the NPP, would dismiss them, would suspend them. But what has the SLPP done?
You think they would do that?
I mean, Ruwan, would you do that?
So what?
If a Pradesh Sabha member from the NPP comes out and says, I paid 10,000 rupees, I paid 100,000 rupees to get the support of whatever other member of the party,
right,
what would your party do?
Yeah, that's the political culture which has been.
No, but what would your party do? Would your party dismiss them?
Definitely.
So,
Definite steps
Milinda,
will be taken.
I mean, Lihini, what would your party do?
No, we will obviously not
No, I just want to
what
ask
about
you one
that?
question. This sugar scam.
No,
Now, the
Saroja.
Criminal Investigation Department is reported to have said, quoting the Attorney General's Department, that the questionable reduction of the special commodity levy on imported sugar in 2020, because your party, the NPP and the the SJB said that there was a 15 billion rupee loss to the government. Now, it has been reported that this is not amounting to a criminal offence.
Yeah,
So you all are giving them a free hand.
What about the containers? 343
Yeah,
containers that
What about
went
the
out.
Rajapaksha
Now there's a report
Yeah.
in the one that has come out that they're suppressing. I think they should release that report, because there's something fishy going on the container issue. I think
That's
What
a
about
good point. Now, Navin is also bringing this issue up. But you all are not doing anything about it.
no, not doing
Now,
anything.
this sugar scam, classic example.
Yeah,
323 containers, classic example.
the
343 containers.
23.
So that is also in the criminal investigation department. That is the process is going on, right? So with the accusations and all the things, that is the things are. I think so. They have gone to the CID, and that is, I think, the actions will be taken for that. And from the customs perspective, that they have given their stance on this regard, as well as the Minister Bimal Ratnayake. He said he explained the situation. What the long description has been given in the Parliament also, and the CID is making their intervention. And I think that the things will be covered.
Navin, on this 323 containers, now you've been a parliamentarian, how do you view the role of the SJB? Because they seem to not be talking about, now example, Ashok Ranwala's doctorate. Even if he went to walk to Japan and came back, he would have come back by now, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he's still on the way. But a lot of pressing issues are not being brought out by the SJB. We've asked this question on this very show, what is even the chief opposition whip doing? Because we've seen people like Lakshman Kiriyal who've been vocal right throughout. We've seen this happening. And
Kiriyal is not in Parliament.
Not anymore, but now Gayatri Karnataka is there. But what is his role as a chief opposition whip? What's happening in Parliament?
Yeah, so that's a very interesting question, Shamir, because in 1970, when the UNP only had 17 members, they were able to rise up like a phoenix from the ashes and revive the UNP, because they fought so much in Parliament. and I mean, Mr. Jayawardena gave that leadership, and Mr. Premadas was there, my father was there, ACS Hamid was there. So I think, you know, you need the fire, you need the fire in the belly, and you need to take this government on by the horns and bring about. It's too early for that, because clearly the people's mood is still on this anti-corruption Ruwan and a drive. So good luck to them on that, because we all want all these rogues to be caught. But there's another aspect now. The one was the container issue. Other one is the criminality that happened. Now the criminality is it's more fundamental than actually the corruption. The criminality is Lasanta's case. So I put a tweet actually about 2 months ago on the Eknelikoda case, Lasanta's case, because we need to get updated as civil society. We need to get updated on what's happening. Like Milinda said, now it's been nearly 1 year since the president came to power. What's actually happening with the Lasanta's case? Because that was one of the main platforms. You know, they said they were going to make some arrests on this. Eknelikoda completely disappeared. Yeah. Where's his body even?
Navin, I want to ask, like, you are the most experienced politician out of the 5 here. Now, it's almost 9 months since the president was elected, and he has promised a lot. And one of the main promises is the anti-corruption drive, which is happening. Yeah. How do you see the benefits of the anti-corruption drive, trickling down to the people?
Well, see, it's like you said. I mean, if you have a much lesser corrupt society than a corrupt society, of course, the government is able to save so much of capital and money. The bribery commission is going under a new provision where even if you spend something, they come up with the argument and say you could have spent this in a better way, and therefore because you spent more, we can take you in. That's happened a few times. So on the corruption and the fraud and the bribery and all that, I give it to them. They have been good on that. But on the criminality of some of the things that have happened,
I mean the accountability.
The criminality of the Lasanta case, the Eknelikoda case, those are also very strong platforms that they went on, right? And we need to know, maybe the CID is overwhelmed with all these cases. We don't know. So maybe is the FCID now functioning? We don't know. So as citizens, we need to know, we need to be updated by the government, by the NPP and the JP on what's happening on these criminal cases, because you can go on the anti-corruption drive. I mean, we are all for that, because corrupt people should go behind bars. So, but they should also, go behind the big fish also. Now, I mean, certain politicians, the known cases are coming up. I mean, these cases were put much earlier than when the NPP came to power, some of these cases. So we need to know the new facts and figures. I mean, they came on the platform that the whole political system, like she mentioned, the entire elite, the political elite was corrupt. So there is, when you look at the cases, some of these cases, they are, they are corrupt, they're bad. But people expected much more on that. People expected the hidden money to come out. People expected this money that's lying in Dubai to come. People expected certain corruption matters that were highlighted to be investigated properly. So none of that is coming. It's only like certain cases that are coming. So I'm just questioning the probing methodology. I'm just questioning the probing methodology in this, because it seems to be a bit selective.
Yeah. So Ruwan, now I want to ask, before coming to Ruwan, I want to ask Lihini now, the role of the opposition. What's really going on?
So, the whole container issue, we've spoken about this many times in Parliament, and also we've lodged complaints. So, I mean, I disagree with the fact that you're saying that the opposition is not making noise. I mean, whether it is not being picked up by the media, that is questionable. But always, we have our daily press conferences. We talk about all these issues, and we question the government.
Daily conferences, you all are talking about each other.
No, we talk.
As a press conference, he slams.
We've spoken about.
Has a press conference. He slams Wijeweera. Wijeweera Rahman has something. He slams Marika. You all are having press conference.
No, but we've spoken about the electricity crisis, the KDU issue. We've spoken about government selective policy when it comes to education. We've spoken about that. We've multiple times questioned about the Easter attacks. What is happening with it? Then also this whole. I mean, earlier Shalan asked about. NPP, whether you will oust any of their members if they are caught up with any corruption. I want to ask about Minister Savitri Paul Raj, that incident that happened in Parliament. I mean, that particular incident, what is the justice that is being served to that individual, that girl, and whether they have taken any action against that NPP individual who was directly linked to their party. So, I mean, these are factors which we've questioned many times. We've spoken about the salt issue, the rice issue, all of that.
But Lihini, you know, as a politician, I think Navin, Milinda will agree. When you have an issue, you have to be talking about that issue until justice is served.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we've lodged.
You know what you all do? You all talk about an issue and then you all forget about it.
No, that is what you like to say. But we played. I mean, if at all, if you are saying. I will give you a
classic example. In 2015, when the central bank bond controversy took place, if media was not vocal, things would have been different at the 2019 elections.
See, it's like this. What we see
now,
right now.
I can ask you a classic question. What did Sajid Premadasa do at that time? You won't even have an answer.
See, it's like this. Everything is selective now in this country.
Would you have an answer?
Everything. I'm telling you, what you pick and choose, what you want to promote. Everybody has an agenda. Everybody is selective in Sri Lanka. There's an agenda who they want to come to power, who they want to bring to power, what news is bring. This is it. I mean, I disagree with the fact that SJB as an opposition is not vocal. We are vocal. I mean, even today in Parliament, we wanted to talk about the Iran-Israel issue because it is directly going to affect our economy. Nobody is talking about. I mean, we our foreign reserves, the tea exports, and also the fuel. I mean, the government clearly came and said that for 2.5 months we have fuel, but that is not the question. The prices are going to escalate. What is the alternative? Mr. Premadasa questioned on it, and then there was a huge argument where the government is actually curtailing the rights of the opposition leader when he wants to question. Now, where is parliamentary democracy when it comes to all this? Everybody here, I mean, everybody here now thinks this government has come, everything is, you know, they've got 159, they are catching rogues, the system is going to be all good. I mean, everywhere there is power, but nobody is questioning what the government is actually doing. What about the economy? I mean, electricity tariffs are going up by 15%, and we see the
already gone up.
Already gone up. The Deputy Minister of Finance is coming and saying, no, it is not going to affect because the bank loans, the interest rates have come down. That is what the Deputy Minister of Finance is talking about. Now, it is directly going to impact the industries, the fuel prices.
Ruwan, on this electricity tariff, I think Lihini made a very valid point. One of your member of Parliament, said that the electricity has gone up because people can afford it. That is why the prices have gone up.
And also, I want to tell
when you make statements like that, I really don't know, Ruwan.
This is the Deputy Minister of Finance, very extremely irresponsible statement.
How can we even, you know, try to, because you all said you all will reduce it by 1/3.
Yeah.
But nothing is happening, no, Ruwan.
No, nothing is happening. So
I'm not saying this. Now, 5 days ago, Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit said that he's very disappointed with the government with regard to the Easter Sunday bomb attacks because this year there was such a show by the government to reveal a startling revelation about the Easter Sunday bomb attacks on the 21st of April. Nothing happened.
No.
Shamil, can I say one more thing? I mean, recently we saw Minister Lalkanta coming and saying that, you know, that they admit that they made a mistake on getting on the roads and crippling the system. Now, they admit. Now what? I mean, so now they have nicely portrayed that all of us are responsible for the 76-year-old curse in this country. Now, Minister Lalkanta today is also saying this.
So, Ruwan,
so these are things I think we should ask.
First talk about the electricity problem now. One of your members are saying the electricity prices have gone up by 15% because the people can afford. What is the census that he has done with regard to people's affordability? Now, we know there was a animal census, and Chamar Sampath had said 4.2 million peacocks. Based on what he's saying, when you go on the road, you have to see peacocks on your right, left, and you know.
Right, and so there are many questions.
Yeah, first answer one by one.
And this is something like this. And
how do you know the people can afford a 15% hike?
No, that the people, I don't think that the people.
So then why is your minister, why are members of parliament making such statements?
No, what I'm telling you is that that is, I mean, that's not the stance of the government that the people can afford this, right? And it is not our intention, right, clearly to increase these prices of various kinds of things.
Whose intention is it?
No, whose intention means depending on the circumstances, depending on the context, sometimes we have to take some kind of decisions. Sometimes we have to, that is, reduce the price of something, sometimes, right? Because you want to remember that is even by now. So we have not recovered our economy, right? That is the fact that we all have to admit, right? The economy has not come to a very nice position, right? So that is the projection of the World Bank. World Bank projection was for the 2025 was 3.5, that is the economic growth of the country, GDP, that it would be around 3.5. But yesterday I saw a news which is released from Central Bank, I think. So it has gone up to 4.8 for the first quarter of the of 2025.
No,
right?
it's still 3.5.
Yeah, you don't gauge the country's economy based on quarters. What you do is you take a mean value.
It's true. It's true. But what I'm telling that what I got that one from the from that news, right?
No, but now I will give you a classic example. Ruwan. Now, it was NPP members before the elections, before the presidential elections, that said that Mahinda Sirivardhana and Nandalal Veerasimha should be behind bars. And today, you all have a felicitation ceremony to send off the Treasury Secretary.
Yeah, that is, you know that, so you can't expel everyone, right, from the country.
But
that is blaming.
Difficult, no?
No, that is
The entire campaign was based on expelling
You all
them.
have 2/3, no, in parliament.
No, that 2/3.
You have 2/3 in parliament, which means you can amend bills to expel people, and which all are not doing.
You know that
particularly the central, your party took the position, which I always say this about the EPF issue. So because one of the biggest scams in our history, and not only the left parties are saying this, right parties also saying that, right? And you all went to court on it, saying that this is one of the biggest scams, had protests and everything. And when you all came to power, absolute silence.
Restructuring.
So,
yes.
So we have not kept silence, right?
Of
so
course
we
you
have
not kept silence.
we
Absolute
are working.
silence.
We are working. So this is not. So we can take one by one. That is, this is not done and this is not done likewise. But this is about the whole socio-political context, the atmosphere.
The only
as
thing
far
that
as
you all
all
have
these
done
things are
properly is
concerned.
the census, that animal census.
Sorry.
The animal census,
Yeah.
that was done by you all the last 6 months.
So that is.
That's also disputed.
Yeah, that is the in the especially the TV shows and all the things, that those kinds of things are
Ruwan, let's
but that is there is something the way we did, there can be some of the mistakes or something, I don't know, but anyway, those are the things still when we go to the villages that the people ask from us. So these things, the crop cannot be kept, right, that cannot be protected from the animals, right, when you go to the rural areas. So those things are the issues not created by us, but the things were there for a period of time. So then something must be done for those things. Sometimes we have to make some experiments. We don't know what is the most appropriate and the suitable measure that we have
so now
to
you all
take.
have 1.3 trillion capital expenditure. Tell me the large scale project that the government intends to undertake in the next few years. Now we saw how the Mahavir project came into play, and even today we are so thankful to that project. The agriculture industry in Sri Lanka is booming because of those projects that were undertaken by government Dissanayake at that time. So tell me, what is the vision you all have for the country?
Yeah, that is, so you know that
I
is
don't want
the-
too many
yeah,
projects. Just tell me one project.
Right, so that is one project mean that is the, there are many, there are
No, I want one project.
Yeah.
Just one large scale project you all will implement in the next 5 years.
So one is Clean Sri Lanka project. That is not
no, but that's not
not allowed.
expenditure.
Yeah.
But those are
So
not.
I want to ask.
No, in Clean Sri Lanka, one thing I will tell you. Give me one minute.
No, those,
So city
those are
banding.
not capital expenditure projects.
No, city banding, under the city banding concept that we are going to have branded cities all around the country, and we are planning 2,000 millions have been allocated for Kataragama also to initiate the program.
Doctor, sorry, Ruwan,
Yeah.
what I'm asking you is, what is the return on investment capital intensive project you all will undertake in the next 5 years? I don't want too many projects. I only want one project.
Can I help him?
No, let him answer.
Can I help you? No, they under the budget, they have a capital intensive program of digitalization. 3.5 billion that has been allocated. So that is something that I think he should
Navin,
tell.
no.
Yeah.
Ruwan,
That's capital expenditure. That's capital
No,
expenditure.
Just want to check with you now. The government allocated 1.32 trillion rupees as capital expenditure for this year. This was in January. Now we are in the 6th month. Almost half year is over. Only around 200 billion rupees has been spent. How are you going to spend 1.1 trillion rupees? And lack of capital investment means we are not going to have economic growth for the next 2-3 years.
I can answer that if you want.
Right?
Yeah, so we'll ask first Navin,
First,
and then I'll you can get your thought. I'll come back to you, Ruwan. Just
Now the allocations have been sent to various heads. Especially now I know because I was the former governor of Sabaragamu. So Sabaragamu has got the allocation. The government servants are not moving this money
Exactly.
because they are afraid to make decisions. Because they are going to go after the government servants. Everyone is a hora. Right? Everyone is corrupt. So they are not making decisions on implementation of getting projects through.
Swasthika, now this this development that you see now, as Navin said, a lot of government servants are scared to take decisions. I don't know because I'm not working in the government sector, but is it happening as you speak?
No,
Because
I don't think
you work.
everyone is, I don't think that's why they're not moving, because I know this person. They're not moving because decisions must anyway come from the top. Policy direction must anyway come from the top.
No, I think
What we have been
direction-
told is that
No, I-
policy directions is not coming. It's not because they are scared of because not all government servants are corrupt.
Government
no,
works on the basis that allocations are made, and then those civil servants must work on those allocations.
But the
I
policy
mean-
it's not only
Policy
allocation.
decisions have been
No,
made.
it's not only
Policy decisions have
allocation.
been
No,
made.
What is-
They have their projects
we
in
know
place.
some of the public servants
Yeah.
say, you can go ahead with the project, but state in the minute that I won't sign because I can't face an arrest.
Yeah, that's right.
There are I have seen and I have heard some incidents like
So it's
that.
up to the government to give that confidence. If,
No,
if
that
you're
is,
not stealing money, then
shall I add you something, right? So that is I
don't
do
want to
not,
speak for the government, but-
I don't accept that what Mr. Navin was telling that everyone is hora. So it is not that, right? But
No, it's not that everyone is hora. Everybody thinks that they will be prosecuted.
No, that is
Because it's an
prosecution. So you know that-
anti-corruption kind of thing. The main agenda is that. So even 1 rupee here or there, they will risk their career.
No, that is we have. So I worked in the government sector for 15 years, right? We have been given the guidelines and the way how to sign a check, and almost all the things have been given for us as the government servants, right? So we worked according to the way we have been given. We have been asked to work. So it's not a very big matter.
So I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Ruwan. Now let's say there is a flood situation in Ratnapura.
Yeah.
How is money going to be allocated? Through what means is money going to be allocated to Ratnapura? Now it's been done through division secretariats. How is it going to happen now? Same format?
In the same. Nothing has been changed. I mean, that is in the we have not changed the processes and
Because
the
what we
procedures,
know
right?
is when such a allocation is made,
Yeah.
there are a consultative process that has to happen, because it has to come through layers. I think Minister Navin Dissanayake would be attested to. He was also a governor. there is a protocol system that has to work. You can't just allocate money. But when there's a flood-like situation, someone has to take ultimate responsibility.
Decisions have to be made.
Some decisions have to be made ultimately. But who's going to make that decision
So
now?
that is sometimes, as you said, that is in the disaster situation, likewise. So you can't follow the whole protocol and all the procedures. Sometimes
then you put that person behind bars.
we have not done that. We have not done that, and we are not going to do that. What we are going to tell the people is that we are using, as the politicians and the public servants, we all are using the public funds, and you must be responsible for the way that you have spent the money. So that is what we have been asking. Be responsible. So there was no responsibility. Mega projects have been done. If you take as an example, Mattal Airport, I saw recently an article. So that is for the whole construction. So 36 billion, right? It has spent, right? Rupees, right? So now that is the loss for these 4-5 years. So it has been around 38 billion, right?
Milinda,
So this is 30. So think about the loss. So is it any use of doing the mega projects? Whose advantage? Who got the advantage of that?
No, but then you must appoint a committee and then go into it, right? Bring the facts
This is
out,
based
and
on
then
article.
you know
wait.
appoint a presidential committee on this.
No infrastructure
but let's ask
projects in
Milinda.
this country
Milinda.
ever. at
No,
this
that
time.
is that infrastructure.
Are they saying that?
right?
No, but let me say that it was
There won't
based
be
on
any
an article.
infrastructure.
Yeah,
So
sure.
article is written through research.
Yeah,
I don't
like
know
article,
article is
yeah,
How many people can read?
Yeah.
The entire Facebook is based full
that
of so many articles written by so
if
many
it is in a
people.
newspaper article, it can be accepted to certain extent. If it is wrong, that is the responsible people. That is why I am telling that there is no responsibility for the work. If I have done something, if there is wrong paper article, I would do something, right? So against me and my government, right? So that
No, but
is
that's
what
not
I'm
fair.
telling.
But that's not
It's
fair.
okay,
No,
it's
you
okay,
can't
but
do-
I'm telling.
You can't be taking action against all the articles that are published. If that is the case,
No, but I think the point that Ruwan is trying to make is the fact that Hambantota, being such a massive project, has made massive losses. I think we all can agree on that point, at least.
No, you
But-
need to
but-
have the infrastructure. That's true.
when you but just a small answer for this, when you build big infrastructure like highways, airports and ports, they are not going to make profit within next 5-10 years. That will take time to build the business around that. That will make time to bring business into that. That's how those business work any part of the world. Those are common sense.
So,
my point is, if this is the attitude we are going to have towards
Investment.
the bigger investments and the bigger development, then that is the danger.
yeah. So just
But
tell
the
me, you have a question for?
No. So the Mattal Airport became a ghost airport even back. I mean, it didn't start with the NPP government. No. So I mean, yes, investments do take time.
No.
It is called a ghost airport.
No, this is
All planes come
no,
there.
this is
Because all
this is
they do- No, this is not.
just because
It has been there more than 10 years.
let me have environment and all will be impact anyway, and any development project.
Milinda.
That
has
is not the
been there for
problem.
more
Milinda, I
than
don't
12
want-
years, Milinda.
Yeah, but Navin, yes.
No, but I want to make a small point.
I want to
make a
listen to
small point.
Navin and then I will come to you.
As far as I know, even the Mattala airport and the port, there was no feasibility done on these two projects. So if there was a feasibility, there would have been a cash flow when the cash flow is generated. So if you are spending so much money, you have to get a proper assessment of the cash flow first and see how the project is going to work out. Because from what I know, there was no scientific feasibility done on this. Because
So
remember, the
how are you-
Mattala airport was
how is going to
Mattala-
fund Minister Navin a project that scale if there is no feasibility study?
Mattala airport was taken from Monoragala. Because the Vellava, yeah. So it was taken for political reasons. Very clear.
So if it was in Vellava, it would have done better.
No. Vallava or
Well,
wherever. So what we are telling that if you are spending that much of money, you need to think of the future, how it works,
So
and
can
what
we
are the
ask the same
advantages
question?
and all.
Why is it Tamil Tenava
I'll give you an
railway
opportunity,
station
but
also
now Milinda is the
Tamil
focus
Tenava
now.
railway station is needed.
Milinda now.
That's close to our hometown.
No, Milinda now. I go.
Same logic, let's ask that.
Milinda, I go.
Even the cricket ground in Anuradhapur is needed because
You
that is
can-
close to my
no, Milinda,
hometown.
I go through the Dali Road every day,
Huh.
and I see the Nelumkuran almost every day.
Huh.
So when I see that, I start thinking $300 million US, 350 million US spent on this project. By
I don't know.
So
How
it
do
was
I
done
know?
by Mahindra Rajapaksa.
That is like the Valampuri movie that fellow is saying. I can see the Nelumkuruna, that is
But that was spent by Mahindra Rajapaksa.
No, but
government.
Milinda, do you understand the importance of taking responsibility?
That was a no.
No, first I want to take, I will come to Nelumkuruna after the Mattala. So when the Mattala airport was built, immediately after 2 years of Mattala airport was built, Yahapalne government came and put rice into that. They made that into a rice paddy, what you call the paddy storage facility. That is the attitude even that government had towards, because those are political victimization. You looked at these because even the Yahapalne government came to power with the same narrative NPP use now. This narrative was an old narrative. When the highway was building, I remember Anukumar Dissanayake was telling at that time how bad the highway is for the dogs in that area, because the dogs can't cross the road now. That is the attitude they had at that time. I'm saying this is not a new thing.
What was it?
Dogs couldn't cross the road.
Because of the highway. That is what the president, that was the then opposition MP Anukumar Dissanayake said about.
I have not heard this.
I have heard many times, because that's in my Facebook. You can go and see.
I thought the more famous statement was the highway paved in gold, because it costed so much. But again, Milinda, now we're coming back to the same point like a hole in the bucket.
No. I have my point. I still have my point.
You are saying that it was all lies, that it was all just posturing by the JVP and also the SJB when it came to the good governance government. But then again, my question to you, it reverts back to the previous question that I posed to you that I didn't really get an answer to. When members of your own party are coming out and saying we took commissions, we took bribery, we had corruption, and that's how our local politicians built their political careers, what is your party doing about it? If you are saying it's a lie.
Now that's a good point. 2015, after Mahindra Rajapaksa lost elections,
he also said, file lapi hangua. He said, so what is your party doing now?
Because
there is a loss of trust.
That is why we lost the election.
So, but then there is a loss of trust. But y'all are still in that same cycle, Milinda. What are y'all doing? Your party members are still coming out and saying
Milinda,
that.
y'all impeached Rani Bandaranaike. And then after several years, Namal Rajapaksa is saying we did the mistake. Come on, Milinda, what is this?
Even Hofkin wrote a book about the universality, and then he wrote another book disputing what he wrote.
So, but I think
those
the general
mistakes
public
can happen, and you have to accept those mistakes. That is how politics work.
At what cost?
That is how anything works in your life.
At what cost?
Come on, now that is something our senior politicians have done. So then I will not be able to do politics in this country as a young politician. Just because of the
don't make deals.
Just because of
we are saying do politics. Milinda, we would like to see you in parliament one day, but the problem is don't do deals.
Which deal?
No, and also,
which deal I have been making?
No, you have not been making your party.
That you see. Listen, we are not in small parties where 5 people are running small companies.
I'll take as example. Now, when you start off, you said,
we are in
I
big
know
parties.
how much Colombo is spending. There is so much of tenders. It's like, so what's the meaning do I get as a journalist listening to that? That means you know how to rob Colombo. You expect the new mayor also to do that.
I don't expect her to do that.
No, but
I said I have seen that not only in Colombo Municipal Council, in the country we have seen these things. We have lived in this country. I don't know where you all have been, but I have been in this city for a long time, and we have seen this. That is not the point. I am representing a political party. These are not small terrorist groups or small extreme groups. These are big democratic political parties which represented by different peoples with different views, different political ideologies, different backgrounds. So different people might be telling different things. Different people have done different things in different contexts. Different politicians, political leaders of our camps would have done different things. So it is up to us when we come to when we become the face of the political parties, when we have the position to make decisions in our parties, when we have been now given an opportunity to make decisions in our political parties, we have to say this went wrong. So recently I came out in a program and I said one of the biggest mistakes Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksha did was basically agreeing to Muslim
disagreeing.
Agreeing for the cremation. Agreeing for the cremation, which was the decision made by the so-called medical experts who then led the protest movement during the Aragalaya. But these are the mistakes we have done, and we have to accept, we have to acknowledge, we have to see why those mistakes have been done by these leaders, and then try to correct them.
Asking you, do you think the Muslims will forgive just because you say that you all are sorry?
No, they will never. They will never forgive. The Muslim countries will never forgive us. The Muslim community will never forgive us. It is not to get their forgiveness. It is to accept and acknowledge what was right and what was wrong. That is my principle.
But now, Milinda,
people might forgive, people might not
Milinda,
forgive. Even for the corruptions, people might forgive, people might not forgive. But it is my duty as a new generation politician to acknowledge what went right, what went wrong, and also fight for the what is right, I think.
How do you view this statement by Milinda?
It's a question of accountability. And I was listening to Milinda before also, and he was saying, nothing has been proved in court. But then, not a single conviction.
No, there are many things have been proved.
I'm just responding to what you said.
There are a number of politicians of our camp has been put into the jail. There are number of politicians. No. I have never changed my position. I am a politician who is known in any media for not changing my position any day.
Today you change your position within 30 minutes.
About my position on corruption, about my position on LGBT rights, about my position on capitalism, how the market should work, how our leaders should do politics. Nothing has ever changed the way I talk or the way I have represented, and I have been given that opportunity by our political party. There are a number of politicians who has represented our political party. Then they have been to other political groups, other political camps too, but primarily they have been identified as the political leaders of our camp. Today some of them are in prison, some are investigated, some have been called to the bribery commission,
some are indicted.
So there are different cases, there are different pending cases, there are different allegations. So
these are not allegations.
These are
not allegations.
No, some are allegations. That is why I said.
I am not sitting here as a attorney at law. I am sitting here as a politician. Allegation is a very legal term, and we all know our legal systems have problems. No. Let me finish this. No, this is a serious issue.
These things will change depending on your political program too.
This is a serious issue I'm raising. Not a single person has been convicted in this country for enforced disappearances. 90% of women are harassed in public transport. How many cases come to court? So there are problems in our legal system, and parties like the SLPP backed on those problems. And they come and say,
harassment on the roads? We back?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Backed on those issues, saying, these are just allegations. These are
That is a serious case in Sri Lanka.
Yes, and many happen under.
That is a serious case in Sri Lanka.
You take.
No, enforce.
What Swasthika is saying is right. Now I have seen no change in the last.
No. When you tell me anywhere in my life where I have had a different position about enforced disappearance or about the mistakes or the serious human rights allegations during the last part of the last phase of the war. I never had a different position about that. I always had a very clear position about those things.
On that human rights violations.
There are number of thousands of human rights violations happened during the last part of the war, and we need a very valid and reliable process to investigate that.
You were very close to Gotabaya Rajapaksha, am I correct?
Yes.
You were very close to him.
Yeah.
Right? So when Gotabaya Rajapaksa decided to ban fertilizer, fertilizer to Sri Lanka, what were you doing?
I got to know it from the news.
I can talk about it.
No. He's a major victim of that. No,
wait.
No, being the minister, even before that.
But Shamir, now since Milinda spoke about enforced disappearance,
but you cherry picked too. Now, Milinda, when I ask you, now you say you can't talk about human rights because human rights violations took place in 2009 from both sides of the camp. Okay, let's rest that case aside. Then I ask you about fertilizer. Then you say, I didn't know. I also saw it on the news.
Yeah, so then
you're saving yourself from the party.
What about
You're saving yourself from the party.
That morning what I could have been done. Just suggest me. Now I saw in the news that the president of this country has
wrong.
So next day morning what I could have done. Public comment and do what? Then president will change because Milinda Rajapaksha made a public comment.
Raise opposition from inside the party.
Just because I made a comment in public,
Not
you
party,
think
raise an opposition from inside the
we
party.
made 1,000 comments. We did number of meetings. We made number of reports to president to reverse it.
Right. So now you are
But he
saying,
didn't.
but you say that just because you make a statement, you can't reverse the decision. Am I right?
Yes.
Right. So when Namal Rajapaksa says what his father did in with the impeachment of Srirani Bandaranaike was wrong, how does that statement hold ground? And then when you say about forced cremation, you come and say today, this is the first time that you've told this on the show.
Yeah, in this show,
In this show you've told this for the first time. Then you come and say, we made a mistake.
Yeah.
What does it do to the Muslim community in Sri Lanka? Are they going to be okay with it?
I don't think.
Yeah. So then does that hold ground?
Who is accountable?
Who's accountable?
Accountable people who did that.
So who?
People who did that. See, don't question that from me. There is nothing I can do.
Of that government.
Milinda,
you were so close to.
So are you responsible
Rajapaksha?
Are you responsible for all the decisions made by the management of this institute? People, all these people are doing everything in this institute. Are you responsible? No. So I was a very small, insignificant part of this government, and there were serious senior people, executives who were making decisions, making calls. I have done my bit. That's all you can do. And by the time I am in a seat where I can make decisions, I can call for what is right and wrong, I am trying to correct it. That is how the world works. No?
Why can't Gotabaya Rajapaksa say that he made a mistake?
How do I know? How do I know?
Why can't
How do I know? If I sleep at his home, morning and night, I could have asked that. But that man has a separate life, and
But then Milinda,
I have asked that question from a person. That's all.
You were the Minister of Plantation with regard at that time for a long time. What was the impact from this fertilizer?
It was a huge impact. Just to clarify, Milinda, I don't want to get into a big debate with you. I just did an AI search on this Martala thing just now. I just want to read it out. While there was an attempt at a feasibility study for Martala Rajapaksha International Airport, it was reportedly inadequate and ultimately ineffective, with some officials stating that no proper feasibility study was conducted before the airport's construction. So anyway, on this fertilizer issue, I was the Minister of Plantation Industries at that time. So we had three main research institutions under me. One was the TRI, Tea Research Institute, Coconut Research Institute, and Rubber Research Institute. So when this was first mooted by Maithripala Sirisena, I immediately got my scientists to work on that in these institutes.
This was in 2017, the
glyphosate. Yeah. So 2017, within 2-3 months, I had a report. I went to cabinet and I categorically said that this cannot be done. So anyway, Maithripala also, just like Gotabaya, listened to all these Kelang guys around him, and he bought this on. I protested, I put a cabinet note, and I didn't even go for that cabinet meeting. But I had, my hands were tied. But I did protest, and I said, I'm not for this. The whole tea industry was not for this. Then the 2018 election came, and we got hammered in the election. And part of it was because of this, because the farmers felt it. And actually, if you go back to the Aragalaya, this fertilizer ban was one of the things that sparked it. Yeah, that's the input that I'm getting. So anyway, when then after that they reversed it, and I have to tell you this, that even countries like Japan, You know, very strong, very strong. They said we need an assurance that this tea that you're sending is clean, because the consumers want it. And they did their research. The Japanese also did their research, because we were just getting into the Japanese market at that time, and it's doing very well now. And they said we have no problems with glyphosate. There are certain countries which have, like Germany, a few European countries, but the whole gamut of the world, the international community, they accept this. So we listen to some jokers and we put this on. And I'm sorry to say, even Gota and Mahindanand, who was the agriculture minister, they just supported it. There should have been resistance.
Actually, I remember Ramesh Patirna was
the tea production actually came down. Tea production came down by about 20%.
20% number, but Navin, I just want to correct you. In 2017, when Maithripala Sirisena brought this glyphosate issue, Sri Lanka lost 20 million kgs to export of Japan. And as a result of that was divided to Kenya and India.
That's right.
And we have not been able to recover ever since.
No, we are actually the fourth now.
We have not recovered ever since. So yeah, Milinda, you were saying Mahindanand will come again. Navin was saying Mahindanand will come again.
Ramesh Patirna.
No, Ramesh, I remember Ramesh Patirna had the
He
same.
was supporting this glyphosate. He was not for it.
He was not for it. He was not for the this whole carbonic, whatever the thing. He was not for it. He same
was
thing.
not
He
for
went-
organic.
Organic. He didn't even attend the final cabinet meeting, as far as I remember, because I was in that side. We were advocating for that.
I think
There were people who tried to change it like this.
During the last stages, there wouldn't have been anyone around Gotabaya Rajapaksha, right? You there?
Why not all of them?
Everyone has left. You're saying Ramesh Patirna has gone. You're saying this one has
No,
gone.
not gone. He didn't
But it's
attend.
not a funny issue.
No, but I'm saying, but only you were there, no?
Serious issue. I mean, how decisions are made in this country.
Yeah, Ramesh Patirna,
Yeah.
as the Minister of Industry, I think he went against that. That was in the cabinet. There were people who played their role. Who tried
My
not
concern
to.
was Milinda, how Gota took that decision based on non-experts on the fertilizer.
That's the price he paid.
Right.
That's why you paid that heavy price.
But Milinda, if this is your
that's how
response
it works.
after all of these things have happened, you all are trying to make Namal Rajapaksha the president in 2029.
Who said that?
You all are not trying?
No, I don't know. Did anyone tell that openly? I'm just trying to.
Of course.
I'm just trying to. You are making a call. I'm just. I'm 28 or 29. I like to hear that, but I'm just asking who said
You
that.
think you reckon he would?
No, I don't reckon anything. I don't reckon anything. But I'm saying your party is now putting forward Namal Rajapaksha as the next presidential
He
candidate.
tried to make him the president even the last
yes,
previous election.
exactly.
Not in 2029.
So now if this is your response after Sri Lanka went through an economic crisis, the farmers suffered, everyone suffered, all these wrong decisions, Shinani Bandaranayake moving out, you spoke about enforced disappearances and war crimes. There was a soldier who was convicted by the Supreme Court for murdering several children. He was pardoned by Gotabaya Rajapaksa. There was no response from the SLPP. So after all of these things happen, now next year I'll make Namal Rajapaksa president. 10 years down the line, I will be close to Shamir's age, asking you the same questions with you giving the same answers to me. Why
do you assume like that? Why do you assume like that?
It's the same thing.
How come it is the same thing now? That was some different people we were talking about. Now we are talking about some other different people. Why it could be the same thing?
So even today, Milinda, now there is a general understanding among the general public that even Basil Rajapaksa he was told by the Supreme Court that he is part to blame for the economic crisis in the country. He's still in your party. His picture goes behind on your backdrop also. So what's the credibility? How can the people believe you, Milinda? Is my question.
No, that we will. That is a deal we have to make with the people. No, so we went to
which has historically been made by hoodwinking people.
We went to 1.8%. Probably the lowest in the history of our political camp. Then we came to 3%. Then there was another election 1 month and a half ago. We came to 10%. So there will be probably 9. But probably there will be a provincial election if this government will they have a provincial election, Honorable Minister.
Still, I don't know.
Yeah, I
That
don't
is
think
not
they will do that. Looking at the way the water pattern is going on, if they have, then we can have this conversation. How the people
chair, no, he couldn't come to Parliament.
Not that
Court.
That is what I heard. That is what I heard from the news.
Ruwan, I want to ask this.
That is what I heard from the news.
Quite a lot of news.
You don't know what is happening
Every
in your
morning I
party.
wake up and watch
But
the
every
news.
morning you must be...
No, that has nothing to do with the party. It is a court case, no?
This is a classic answer Sirasena gives, right? When you are the president.
But on that point, now my question is,
when you listen to all this, you must be happy also, no, in a way, because you all are doing something. There is no corruption as such, no.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean,
Because when your president goes overseas, he brings back the money that was supposed to be.
He even brought back a jet.
You want back a jet?
he was
No, he brought a jet. No, from Vietnam. Funded by the Buddhist Association.
private.
so this is something, and
It's
actually
already
the,
got 5 times now.
the way around 1 year,
What's
as
the
they say.
story?
Sorry?
What's the jet?
Going back on a private jet to Vietnam.
He was given a private jet from the Vietnam.
You know.
No. That's those are not the things to be concerned. I think actually the main issues. As they said that especially the I would like to give a simple answer for this.
Lasantas one. Yes.
Navin Dissanayake try to press. So regarding the criminal cases also. So most of those cases, as we are informed, most of these cases are not the very easy to get the evidences, as well as the very serious cases. So where you can't find out the very basic information.
But
right?
that is not what you said in campaign stages, no? That's not fair for you to say. Now even Easter
No,
attack,
no,
you
yeah,
see, Easter
yeah.
attack, very slow progress. Cardinal today is coming and saying, whatever you and Mr.
Just give
President
update to the
went and
people
just give
where
it
the investigations are.
I mean,
Just
it
give
is
an
not
update,
fair. I
yeah,
mean, you
yeah.
come on political stages during your election campaign and you say within this many number of months you will come and prosecute. You will
Number
make
of FOIA days.
Number of, And I mean, versus what you have said versus what you are delivering, there's a huge mismatch, no?
That may be.
There is a point that Foreign Minister is trying to raise now. On the 6th of this February this year, the Attorney General's Department explained that there was insufficient evidence to sustain a prosecution against those involved in Lasantha Wickrematunge's case.
Yeah.
So where are you all hitting?
No, that is so.
And
not
then
to
you
be,
all immediately the next
No.
day, you all issued an
Sorry,
apology.
when was that? When was that said?
This was on the 6th of February 2025 this year.
right. So that
So
is.
that's how that's finished, is it?
No,
Lasantas
not
so
finished, I
now
think.
after that they revoked it. So the,
that is
the Prime
so
Minister
not
got
only the
involved and-
Lasantas case, not only the Lasantas.
You already
case.
know that their age was trying to
There
do
are
that.
cases to sometimes they may take another. I can't exactly say the time period. I don't know, but
But this is
nothing
gonna
has
happen-
been stopped.
But
Nothing
this is going to
has been
happen in
stopped.
the next 4 to 5 years, no? When you
No,
say you
that-
don't know the period,
definitely.
will it take another 15 years?
I don't say that. I'm not going to tell you that everything will be fine and everything will be sorted out and everything.
You all
But
had files,
no.
Huh? You all had a lot of files, no?
400
400
files.
files,
400
yeah. Mr.
files.
Vasan-
So I think that you might have heard the explanation what the Director General of SIABOC, right, has done recently regarding these cases, corruption, and how these white collar crimes have happened in the country, and what they have been doing throughout the period. I think so. That is what I am telling you, that it's not easy. It's not easy. That is true. That we told on the stages. That is also accepted. But what we are doing is that genuinely we are trying to do the justice. That's we are trying, but it may the time period can be changed, but we are trying. So the not only the Lasantas and those cases, even the Kahelias case, as far as that has been
was
taken.
not the case. But that was not the case that you all brought up, no?
Yeah.
You all brought that issue up. Kelia Ramukwela's incident.
No.
Yes.
No, the
It was
Mintu
fine.
government story.
We were the
was-
first to go
yeah.
to
The
and file.
people have
It was from
gone.
SJB.
People have gone to the gone, and the people have filed the cases and everything. But can you remember a time period where such kind of the effective and productive intervention from this?
So are you saying that the judiciary of this country was not functioning? Even Minister Mahindananda Arulingam case was also was filed during your parliament.
I'm not telling
Tell
that
us
the
what you
judiciary.
all have filed. I mean, there were so many cases that were withdrawn due to technical errors. Have you refiled those cases? I mean, it's just a matter of refiling them.
Yeah, that
What
is,
have you done there?
No, that is being done. That is being done. That is not the only case that we have to do.
No, but
right?
Ruwan, now Swasthika
Yeah.
made a good point. She said, you all have 2/3 majority in parliament.
Yeah.
You all can even move earth. That's like a mountain. It's possible because you all have 2/3 majority.
Not only that, they have the executive,
Yeah,
and they also have the
so
local
why aren't
government
you-
now, yes.
So this is that is what I told you. That is this is so you need to concern the existing situation and the atmosphere of the country. You need to think of that without thinking, without concerning the facts. You need to be responsible for the common people of this country. Then only you should take the decisions that you are going to change the constitution or constitutional amendments or the things. But still we are trying, and we have brought various kinds of amendments to the parliament, and we are working. And the very important thing that they told on the SJB platform also, they told, whole opposition told that if this government, if the NPP government would come into power, what would happen to the country? Because there would not be a country. So economic stabilization.
We are asking
Yeah.
you to use the 2/3
Will
to
use,
serve
will
the
be
common,
used.
exactly what the words you used,
Will
right?
be used
No,
in
you
the proper
haven't.
time.
That is my concern. You haven't used the 2/3 to serve the common people. You're using the 2/3 to do everything against the common people, including I go back to this, including the EPF, including the privatization of the CEB. So you're using the 2/3 to do everything against the common people. People are struggling. You're saying, you're just coming and saying people can't, afford the electricity hike. So why did you raise it? Last time when there was an electricity hike, 500,000 people lost their connections. And now again there's an electricity hike. Who is going to be responsible for those children who are not going to be studying under because they're going to be studying under, they have to now purchase candles? Who is going to be responsible for education of those children?
Because
These
you all
are
will-
long-standing
you all will get-
consequences.
but you all will get party funding, no?
25% of people are under poverty line. That's not a
The
joke.
party-
That you
Yeah,
can't do.
that is then the same question has to be asked not from us actually. So
You all are the party in
created-
power.
No. So
You all are the party in
so we are
power.
working.
Who else
So
can we
one
ask?
thing I would like to tell. So with the discussions, with the programs that we are discussing, with the interventions that we have been doing, I think that is those most of the questions will be relieved.
Can I say one
right?
thing? Can I say one thing? Most recently, right? There is something called the budgetary relief allowance. It existed since 1978. Not even the most right-wing governments, whether it be the UNP, whether it be SJB, SLPP, they have not touched on it, despite the fact that there has been an employers' lobby to get rid of it, because employers don't like government to intervene in the labor fixing of wages. Right? Not even the most right-wing governments have gotten rid of this budgetary relief allowance. But the NPP government, which went and promised workers that you're going to increase the minimum wage to 27,000, and we were under the impression 27,000 plus the budgetary relief allowance, your minimum wage would come to around 30,000. Now you all are telling us that 27,000 is inclusive of the budgetary relief allowance, and we are going to cancel the budgetary relief allowance in this time of crisis. Do you know how much a worker can do with 2,500 rupees now, given the cost of living? So who were you all consulting when you all got rid of the budgetary, when you all bought in a bill to get rid of the budgetary relief allowance? Who were you all consulting? Were you all consulting the unions? Were you all consulting the workers? You all were consulting people in power who anyway wanted to get rid of the allowance. So this is precisely what I'm saying. You're using the 2/3 to use it against ordinary people to serve some kind of agenda. And this is not the only thing, whether it be the CEB. When you all were in opposition, you all were like, no, we can't privatize the CEB. So when we come to power, we will stop the whole thing and reverse the legislation. Now you all are going and not only moving forward with the legislation, you all are saying within 4 months, we will finish the unbundling. So you all are doing exactly the same thing which Ranil Wickrama has done against the common people of this country. So now who do we question? Who do we ask?
Yeah, right.
Yes, on the CEB issue, I saw your program. You bought my friend Chanak also. I thought that was a very good program you did because it was very enlightening. So there Chanaka said that there was a 900 billion kind of a non-profit loss that the IMF is trying to put on to this tariff. So that 900 billion, in my view, it could have been negotiated to be kept out. And if it was kept out, the tariff could have been about 10 to 12%. And when I saw that program, that was my inner thinking also. You know, you could have negotiated at about 10 to and fixed it at about 12%. So those kind of things,
5% and nothing more than that.
Yeah. So those kind of things, I mean, could have been done in a more sophisticated way because the numbers were there to be seen. And frankly now, on this discussion, I have to say that, okay, fine, I mean, you all are going on this anti-corruption, anti-fraud, all that is good, and keep doing that. But at a certain point in this country, people will say, where is the development? Where is the job creation? Where is the, the inflation is going out of hand in a way. So those things, where are the projects like you mentioned? People want money generation, that those kind of things have to kick in at some point. So now it's been 9 months. I don't know when this is going to happen. Because people are going to get impatient. Because their lives, their hunger is at stake. Their employment is at stake. So people want job creation. So this has to be this has to be highlighted. I personally feel, okay, fine, you all came in on an anti-corruption platform. You said everybody is corrupt. All good. Do what you want. But please be mindful of the fact that the economic process also has to move on.
And also the SOE reforms and everything.
So what
Swasthika said.
Swasthika said, right? So that is it's a strong argument that she said that is we are going against the people, common people of this country. So that from the budget, right? From the budget, so that's that we have what we have done to for the common people from various kinds of areas, from the agriculture, maybe that is the education, and most of the areas we have done I think fair and fair job that
what have you done?
So no, that is we have increased the minimum public sector salary as well as the minimum wage for that is so the state workers it is to be done, and there is Mahapola scholarship and the various things. I can give a lot of things for that. No, that is I mean that is we have that is done for the people, for the education, for the agriculture, for the subsidies, and we have done many things for the common people, right? There may be, so you can't shoot all the birds at one time, right? So you should take some time. And the next question posed was, I think, regarding the development works,
Yes.
So that is depending on the circumstances. I think that is the president has given some discussions yesterday also. That is very soon. So the main projects will be started.
When?
I think
When?
within another 2 months. Within another 2 months. So that is, I think, the planning will play a crucial role, right?
Why is it that the president is having 98 departments under him? He's not sure about the other people who are
not that, right? The credibility is not the problem for us, right? But the problem is that I think I don't know about that. I don't know why that he is having that, but still he is having that capability to lead most of the very important areas, departments, and the important places. I think because of that reason he may be having the things, and not only that, most of the.
So now recently,
looks like a one-man show. Looks like a one-man show.
The issue is your hand.
It doesn't matter. It is a one-man. No,
it's very clear. They don't have a plan.
No, Ruwan,
They don't have
I want to ask.
That is very clear. It is very clear.
Ruwan, I want to ask this now. There's a perception that there's a lot of delays in decision making in your government. I can give one example. Now there was an issue with these foreign research vessels, right? Last year under Ranil Wickremesinghe's government, there was a moratorium for these foreign research vessels, and then this year, this government had to take a decision to allow or not to allow this foreign research vessel because of this geopolitical issue between India and China. And then I remember in January, Foreign Minister Wijeweera told us that there will be a committee established to look into SOP, standard operation procedures, to allow these research vessels. Now last week there is a UN research ship, right, research vessel, which is supposed to come next month, has repeatedly asked for permission from the government, and government has said there is no SOP. Despite they said 6 months ago that they will appoint a committee and then come up with SOP. Now until last week there was no committee. Now the committee has been appointed, and today the committee was convened today, and they are looking into SOP. Why there is a delay like this? I give you just one example.
Yeah, I think that the foreign minister has made a statement about this one, and he has said that the decision has not been taken yet, and it is to be taken with that committee and all the things. I think that the decision will be taken.
No, but my question is why there is a delay? Why there is a long delay?
About this specific
No.
matter,
I mean, not specific. I mean, in everything there is kind of a delay. There is a perception also. In decision making, there is a delay.
Yeah,
is there any reason?
That is, to be fair, that is, so there can be a delay because you know that in the when it comes to
23 containers, of course, the city is very fast.
No, that is again in the same thing, same answer. When we go back to the show, that is, it is the same answer which can be given for that. Regarding this one, delays can happen because depending on the situation. So the situation, with the government servants, with the people of this country, with the system of the economy, with the kind of the level of the economy, and that is almost all these things. When you consider all these things, there can be, you can't very fast, you can't take the decisions, right? It takes some time because you can't make mistakes. Right. If you make an error, you don't know where it will end. So some kind of scrutiny is needed. I think you need to have a very good plan.
Yeah. So Ruwan, very quickly, I just want to come to the final round. Now, is Lal Khan thing, your party, he's a minister, right?
Yeah.
He recently said that you all are also to be blamed.
He's a Minister of Agriculture, I think.
Yeah, Minister of Agriculture. That you all have to also be blamed for giving jobs and demanding for jobs for undergraduates in the country, and that has to stop immediately. Does that mean that you all won't give undergraduates or graduates jobs in the future?
No, that is that's not the thing. Basically that is 6,000 jobs will come in this year, and 30,000 in the government sector, right? It is expected to have in the coming years.
You're a principal in one of the schools in Monragal, right?
Yeah.
So how many students pass out every year as graduates?
In the whole district?
No, in the whole country.
Graduates?
Yeah.
Around I think
100,000?
40,000 run from the government.
40,000? So you are only giving 6,000 jobs. What happens to
so you can't give government jobs. No one.
But you all used to go on the roads, no? You all used to demand, protest, be on fire in tear gas. Now it's changed.
No, it's changed. I mean, that is, you have to accept some of the issues that we fought. There might be some difference. Some difference. That can be. That is what he accepted. That is, everyone cannot be given the government jobs. Everyone can't be given the government jobs. That is why we are trying to create the job opportunities, right, with the government as well as the private sector, in collaboration with both these sectors. We are trying.
One final question, Ruwan. What is the strategy about digitization? Because Minister Navin all spoke about it, saying that is a big allocation that have been made by you all in the budget as well. Rajapaksha spoke in Parliament and said digitization is not about introducing credit cards to be accepted at toll gates. What is the digitization strategy of the government?
Yeah, that is the basically what we have accepted is that especially we believe that the government servants, government workers play a key role in changing the
what is the
situation of
strategy?
the country.
What is
so the digitalization process, it has to be done in almost all the spheres, right? So we have already started GovPay program and various kinds of things, various kinds of government institutions. We have introduced this digitalization process, and into the extent that we are doing this digitalization, especially in the government sector. So the various kinds of fraud and corruption and the various those issues can be eliminated. So we believe that especially
there won't be a human touch in the future.
Not the human touch will be there into some extent, but most of the things
the problem
will
is
have
human
to be
touch. When the problem is the human touch. When you meet a customs officer, he will ask you a bribe.
Yeah, that is the
if
thing.
you don't have a
That's the
customs officer, he won't ask you a
That is
bribe.
the thing. That is why it has been named as
that is why digitalization is important. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, that is what every and each sphere of this, especially the government sector, it has to be introduced, and the digitalization will play a key role in the process of the development of the government.
Right. So I want to wrap up the show tonight. So let's give each speaker 2 minutes. Let's start off with Swasthika Arulingam from the People's Struggle Alliance.
I just want to respond to about this digitization. I think a narrative is being built that corruption is only at the government officers level, and somehow if you digitize, corruption will end. Corruption is not a technical issue, it's a political issue. So simply because you digitize, corruption is not going to end if you don't put the policies in place from the top level of the government. So that is just one thing, because this whole blaming of government officers for everything when they are doing, I mean, of course there are corrupt officers, but when they are doing an essential service to this country, I don't agree with that scapegoating, because corruption started from the top. I mean, that is the history of this country. But just to go back on this whole decision making process, the government is so scared to take decisions, because I think you all are scared to lose power. So you all think if you all disturb the status quo, if you all go back to what you all have been saying before you all came to power, then you all will fall from power. So therefore it's not about the fact that government officers are hora and therefore they are not acting and so on. It's about the fact that you all are too scared to act. So then you all don't take any decisions because you all are too scared to act, because you think if you act, you will fall from grace. So that has actually been stalling the policies of this country, and the people who are bearing the cost of this indecision is the ordinary people of this country. So and then of course when you all don't take a decision, then we have other parties like the SLPP behind the curtains waiting to come to power, and now they are trying to, what we heard today is they are trying to, I'm not personally talking about you, but I'm talking about the party, they're trying to clean themselves. Oh, we accept responsibility for everything, now we are good people, so please vote us into power, without having a single process of accountability inside their party. The same old guard is still there, still taking decisions, but we are supposed to accept now they are very good people. So that has always been the worry, that when the NPP does not act decisively, far right parties and parties which have caused tremendous loss to this country, not only financially but also human loss, human rights violation, you name it, everything, are waiting in the wings to come to power, and that would only be facilitated. People say don't criticize the NPP because SLPP is good. That is what people always tell me, but I say if SLPP comes to power again, it's because of the indecisiveness of the NPP. And on the side of the People's Struggle Alliance, what we always say is that the NPP, when it was the JVP, was once with the people. You all decided to come to power at all costs. You all formed alliances with all kind of corrupt political as well as business leadership, and you all came to power, and you all are reaping the consequences of that. So people have been forgotten, because you all are in power, you all have forgotten the people. So we are organizing people on the ground, and that is where the resistance will come from the ground. That resistance will come from the ground, and I should warn you about that. That resistance will come on the ground, from the ground, if you do not act quickly on behalf of the people. Thank you.
Milinda.
So without making alliances.
You can final remarks, one. Yeah.
Thank you very much for having SLPP.
You can
in the show.
respond to Swasthika.
Okay. Thank you very much. Then there are a million things to respond to. Thank you very much for having us on the show. And SLPP had quite a tough journey during the last 1 year especially, and even before that, SLFP or the political ideology we have been standing by has been always had a rough journey in this country. That is how the politics works. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes people accept your political ideology, sometimes people don't accept your ideology. And today SLPP is in a crossroad where we have put a new leader into the party, where we have got a young team around the party, where most of the members of the old guard had left the party and the politics. So the new faces have been given a fantastic opportunity to lead the seats, districts, political bureau, the places where decisions are made. And we are in self-criticism. We are in finding a new way of doing politics. So that's all has been happening, and we always know we are hated by some of the extreme groups of this country that we have faced always. And even though there is a big opposition, SJB, still people are scared of SLPP only, thinking that SLPP might come into power, SLPP might take the power, SLPP will be in power again. That itself shows the possibility and the resurrection SLPP showed during the last few months. And that is a lot of hard work of the young team, the new generation of politicians put into the party. And we are very happy about the level we have reached as a political party after the president election, then the parliament election, now the local council election has re-established the direction we are taking. And now, especially after the local council election, we can see very clearly the amount of new groups, the professional groups, the young people, and the old supporters of SLPP is again rallying behind the party, joining the different small wings of the party. So we are realigning our political thoughts and getting ready to face next election, because we are a big democratic party. We value the democracy. We believe in being in the system. We believe in being in the parliament, being in the political system. That is what we believe in. I think that is why people trusted us again. At least 10% people of this country, when the people who are pointing fingers at us can't even get 1% of the voter base. So we'll see at the next election.
Right. Thanks a lot, Milinda. Lihini.
So, listening to all these conversations, what I want to say is, moving back to the Greens, the right wings, we've not been in power, continuous power, after 1994. So, all these bankruptcy, all these issues that the crisis that this country is facing, I don't think we, the Greens, were responsible. Because if this country was built in some sense, back in what Minister said, it was the Mahaveli projects and the investments that we brought in back in the day. But people of this country was always reluctant to go there and vote for the Greens. They voted for the Maroons. They listened, and the NPP government came, hoodwinked, said many lies. And listening to this MP today, actually we fear for the future of our children in this country. This government has got 2/3 majority. Now the local councils versus what they're actually doing, what they said in campaign stages was their inability to deliver. I mean, the electricity tariffs are going up by 15% and they have not even gone to the IMF and negotiated. And we see the PM, when it comes to the education, they have allocated less than 2% for the education of this country, and then they're trying to curtail universities like KDU. They are extremely averse to private education. See little policies of this nature. So what we see right now is a government who has got enormous power, but who does not have experience out there to deliver. So with this country, I don't want to say it, but are we heading towards another crisis, which we fear? But this government must deliver on the promise which they have come. But what I want to say is this: SJB as a party has always said the truth to the people, and people of this country was never willing to listen to the truth. We, like SLPP, never came on political stages. We never appealed to the emotions of the people. That's why we have always been losing this. but we've always spoken the truth. I want to say this, people like Harsha De Silva, Iran Vikramatha, Kabir Hashim, we put out our blueprint, we put out the plan to take this country out of this crisis. We had the plan to how to take this country out of corruption, Easter attacks, we had all that, but people of this country never wanted to listen to the right wings or to the right wing policies. But this country will only prosper if the right wing policies are put in place. And NPP, though they portrayed to be right wing, they're neither right wing, neither are they left. We even don't know what they're doing at the moment.
Right, thanks a lot, Lihini. Minister Navin.
It's a very interesting conversation we've had over the last 2.5 hours. UNP is at the moment on the fringe of politics. It was a big party earlier, a party of giants. We are trying to see the way forward in this in the scenario that is best suited for Sri Lanka. We hope to rebound very quickly. For that, I think there has to be a re-emergence of the two political entities called the SJB and the UNP. I think there has to be an alignment at some point. If that alignment happens, then I think we can easily come back, because that alignment is 3.5 million votes that is just being wasted. So that if that alignment happens, I think very quickly the opposition can gather its forces and move forward. We in the UNP believe that the open market policies unleashed on this country in 1977, which brought growth rates of 7% in the 70s and the 80s and even in the 90s, is the way to go forward. You need to have a high growth, economic growth, and also ensure some welfare measures for the normal poor people of this country, so that their daily lives, the burden can be taken out. We don't see any policies by the so-called left-wing government that is basically copybooking the IMF policies of Ranil Wickremesinghe, because Ranil Wickremesinghe had no option but to go to the IMF. We had that conversation earlier with you. So basically, what is the difference between this government and what Ranil did? Okay, I mean, you all are very good at knocking corruption off, and I clap and bow to you for that. But beyond that, there is absolutely no stable policies to take Sri Lanka to the next level. And it is center-right policies which is in tune with the world and in tune with Asia, particularly the largest two markets, India and China, where we must be aligned to these realities of life, where left-wing politics no longer matter. I mean, it's good for social reform, for social welfare, that left-wing ideology is very good. But to take a country to the next level, you need center-right economic policies, which the UNP has.
Thanks a lot, Navin. Ruwan.
Then thank you very much for having me in the show. And just if I go for the have an answer for the things raised by this all. So the basic concern when we came into power was that is the stabilization of the economy, politics, as well as the having good diplomatic relations. So I think that into a certain and the greater extent that we have done it, right? So we have been able to achieve the economic stability into a certain level, that we are not telling that we have done the best thing, but still we have been able to achieve some of the things even under an environment where there is the IMF, right? So we have done debt restructuring well, and that is foreign exchange rates stabilization, as well as that is the government revenue, right? Government revenue has exceeded its expected limits. So I think that we have done bit better in the economic stability as well as the political stability also. So we have done, and we have won the all three elections, and we have done better. And as far as the diplomatic relations are concerned, that so what was the accusation was leveled by the opposition for us was that we do not have any kind of diplomatic relations. Internationally we will be isolated, and almost all the rumors were done. But when it comes to the present situation, that you know that how we are maintaining the diplomatic relationships and our strategies regarding the diplomacy, I think that that is also into a greater extent that I think that we have achieved as a government. We have achieved, and so if I give a simple answer for what Swasthika said, that regarding that is top level corruption should be stopped, not only from the government servants perspective, but it must be stopped from the top level of the politics, and that is what we have done. We have done well, and it has taken to a zero level of the as far as the fraud and corruption is concerned.
Right.
So this is the government for the common people, and we know that we have to do lot of things for the betterment of the people. So we are working on that.
Right. Thanks a lot, Member of Parliament from the NPP, Ruwan Wijeweera, for joining us this evening on the show tonight. Navin Dissanayake, representing the National Party, he was a former minister as well. Attorney at Law, Lihini Fernando from the SJB. Navin is also an attorney at law. Milinda Rajapaksha from the Sri Lanka Pujana Peramuna. He's also having a YouTube show as well, no, Milinda? No, I was told. I was told. Is
Happy to see my. Yes.
It's. I heard it's one-sided.
As expected.
As expected. Thanks a lot, Attorney at Law Swasthika Arulingam from the People's Struggle Alliance as well. Thank you very much, gentlemen and the two ladies, for joining us this evening on Face the Nation. Thank you very much, Attorney at Law Charles and Benedict. Charles is also technically a lawyer and also a journalist. And thanks a lot, Sriharan, is independent journalist, for joining us this evening on Face the Nation. I leave you tonight with the quote, as I always do: life without liberty is like a body without spirit. Take care and good night.